Hi guys, Andy here again from Mad Lad Designs with more of the Wrath of Ashardalon playthrough. But first, yes, a big armful of corrections here. I don't know what I was thinking last turn. Let's just put it down to one of those days, I think. Right, so let's start the corrections. And we will start with the environment card that we have up there. Now, if you have enough experience points, if you have 5 experience points at least, then when you bring out an encounter card, you can use those 5 experience points to cancel that encounter card. And it's been pointed out that I should have used my experience, because I do have more than 5 experience in the pile, to cancel this surround card, but I'm not going to do that. The reason being is that that was a player error and not a rules error. Okay, it's up to the player to remember if he wants to use experience points or not. So it's not a rules error like when I threw a 20 on the dice for Caleth and then levelled up Vistra. That was a rules error because that was wrong. If you forget to cancel an environment card or an encounter card, then basically it's tough. It's up to the player to remember to cancel these cards. So I forgot. That was my fault. So this card is not going to be cancelled. So that's going to stay in play, unfortunately. Next, we have a couple of corrections with the Kobold Dragon Shield. If you remember last episode, the only action the Kobold Dragon Shield could do was move closer to the hero. Now, I put the Dragon Shield adjacent to Vistra, and of course, monsters move onto the scorch mark. So the Kobold Dragon Shield should in fact have went there. Okay, now I'm going to make a correction of something I did in turn 2 part 1 about the Dragon Shield. If you can remember, I said this: otherwise the kobold moves 1 tile towards the closest hero. Now, although it says move 1 tile towards the closest hero, he doesn't move here where you'd expect him to, because that's 1 tile over. He'll actually move to the closest hero within the 1 tile. So if there's a hero on the tile, he'll move there next to the hero. If there wasn't no hero, then he'd move next to a hero on the opposite tile. So Kobold Dragon Shield is actually going to move there. That is in fact incorrect. If the Kobold Dragon Shield is on a tile with a hero but not adjacent, then that Kobold Dragon Shield, the same as the Duigar Guard, does not move. It does not move adjacent to the hero on that tile. It just stays where it is. Okay, so that's a major correction I should have done a while ago. But if a Kobold Dragon Shield is on the same tile as a hero but not adjacent, then that Kobold Dragon Shield doesn't move from that spot. So in effect, it's guarding that tile. Okay, just thought I'd better correct that. That was from turn 2 part 1 when I mentioned that. Right, next, Caleth. When I revealed the tile, this one, I forgot to place a monster. And then I went ahead and chose a monster for Quinn and Heskan due to the environment card. So we need to do a bit of monster swapping. Right, so when Caleth revealed the tile, she would have got the top monster, which would have been the Orc Archer. So the Orc Archer would appear on the scorch mark, and it would have been the Orc Archer's turn to attack Caleth. So the Orc Archer is going to attack Caleth with the second tactic because it's not adjacent, but it is within 2 tiles of the hero. So it's going to attack with his bow and arrow. So the orc's going to attack with a +6, and he does 2 damage on a hit, but he also does a damage on a miss. So we need 11 or less for a miss. Let's see what we get. 15. Oh, that's definitely a hit. So unfortunately, Caleth has to remove 2 hit points. Right, so more monster swapping. The human cultist that Heskan brought out now has to go to Quinn. So move that over to Quinn. And also the environment card states that I need to put the creature on the closest unexplored edge. Now when I place them down, you can see that the cultist obviously isn't on the closest unexplored edge, so I need to move everything a bit forward. So Quinn has the human cultist. It needs to be on the closest unexplored edge to him, so it's going to move there. So now Heskan has to draw a monster card. Let's see what we get. Ooh, another Dewey Gargard. Oh dear. Right, so that means, so that has to go on the closest unexplored edge to Heskan. There's Heskan. Now when you're working out the closest unexplored edge, you actually take the walls into consideration. So although this would be the closest unexplored edge, you actually have to go around to find the unexplored edge, yeah? So you're not just taking it as like straight, you have to take the walls into consideration. So in this case it would be next to the human cultist would be the closest unexplored edge. I think that about clears things up for the corrections. Let us continue with Quinn's turn. Right, so Quinn is here. And what should he do? He might try and come back and help Vistra get this cage off her, because as long as a hero doesn't attack, they can try and remove this cage. So if Quinn goes back here, at least there's 2 chances. Quinn and then Vistra can take her turn when it comes round to her turn. Or he can carry on forward here and try and tackle some of these monsters, because there's getting to be quite a few monsters on the board now. Just give me a moment to think about what Quinn is going to do. Quinn's decided he's going to tackle these monsters, try and get some of these monsters out the way. So he has a movement speed of 5, but he also has the boots of striding, which give him an extra square to move, so he can move 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's just going to be a hero and rush right into the middle of them. Now he's going to use his Sacred Flame, which is a +6. But he also has the Dwarven Hammer, which is a +1 bonus to attack rolls against adjacent monsters. So he can have a +1 to his Sacred Flame, going from 6 to 7. So I think he's going to attack the Orc Archer. The Orc Archer has an arm class of 13, so we need 6 or more in order to hit this Orc Archer. Let's give it a go. Yes! That's definitely a hit on the Orc Archer. And seeing as the Archangel only has 1 hit point, he has been dispatched. Which means a treasure card. So let's see what we have. Potion of Rejuvenation. You feel relaxed and refreshed after drinking this potion. Use this item during your hero phase and flip up one of your used powers. Ooh. Let me think who I'm going to give this to. I think I'll give this to Heskan, because he has some good powers in there that can only be used once, which I'd like to use again. So, here you are, Heskan. Potion of Rejuvenation. Right, Quinn hasn't revealed any tiles, so we get an encounter card. Revel in Destruction. Choose a damaged monster. That monster regains 1 hit point. Huh. Well, if I'm not mistaken, there is no damaged monster on the board. Nothing with a hit point token on them. No. Oh, right. So, in that case, we discard the card. Oh. Phew, that was a good encounter. Nothing happened. Brilliant. So, we've done Quinn's turn. We are going to move on to Heskan's turn. So, Heskan is going to move, and he's going to actually try and reveal the next tile. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to attack with his Arc Lightning. Arc Lightning, I can attack 2 monsters with a +7 for each. So of course he's going to attack the Human Cultist and the Duergar Guard. Let's have a look at those rolls. But before I do that, I'm actually going to correct myself right now, because I didn't move Heskan, did I? I moved Kaleth. Oh dear. Back she goes. And this is Heskan. So he is going to move with a +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if he was going to attack, it'll be a -4 on his attack roll, because he has this terrifying roar still on him. But hampered as he is, he's still going to give it a try anyway. So the Arc Lightning, like I mentioned, was a +7. -4 penalty, that's just down to 3. Oh dear. Right, so now let's go to the roll and see what we get. So he's still going to attack the Cultist. So we need an 11 or more in order to hit this Human Cultist. Fingers crossed, guys. 11 or more. Yes! 18! Oh dear. So we've definitely hit this Human Cultist, who has a hit point of 1. So the Human Cultist is dispatched. Which means a treasure card for Heskan. Potion of Healing. You or an adjacent hero regains 2 points of damage. I think I will give this to Heskan as well. There we go. Give that to Heskan. So Heskan is now going to try and hit this Duergar Guard for his second attack of the Arc Lightning. And again he's got -4 penalty, so it's only a +3. So we need a roll of 13 or more in order to hit this Duergar Guard. And let's see what we get. 13 or more. 15! Hey! Excellent! So, even though Heskan had this curse on him, he was strong enough to defeat 2 creatures, 2 monsters. Well, I say defeat 2 monsters. He defeated one and brought one down by a hit point. Okay, so at the end of Heskan's hero phase, he can roll to see if he can remove this curse. So we need to roll a 10 or more to get rid of this curse. Yep, that's a 16. So this curse has now been removed. Yes. Brilliant. But due to this environment card, I have to check now, see if everybody's got a monster. And Quinn doesn't. He defeated the monster he brought out. So we now have to bring out another monster for Quinn. And it is... oh no! Oh, that's all you need. The Legion Devils. Because not one, but 3 Legion Devils come out. Right, and they go on the closest unexplored edge. Right, I'll grab those 3 Legion Devils. Here we are. Closest unexplored edge would be there. There. And there. Now these Legion Devils should have been brought out at the end of Quinn's exploration phase, which means they would have got to attack in Quinn's villain phase. So the first Legion Devil, this one, is going to attack Quinn with a +11. So +11 against Quinn's arm class of 16. Let's have a look. That would make it a 21 against Quinn's armor class of 16. But Quinn is going to use his braces of defense to reduce the damage by 1. So we need to flip this card over. The damage is reduced by 1. It was only 1 anyway. So Quinn does not remove a hit point. So now we move on to the second Legion Devil. So the Legion Devil moves to the closest hero, which just happens to be Quinn again, and attacks again with a +11. Oh. Well, yes, that's definitely more than enough to hit Quinn's armor class, and he doesn't have anything to stop the damage, so Quinn has to remove 1 hit point. I'm thinking I should have cancelled this surround environment card. I wish I'd remembered. Cool. Right. We're on to our last Legion Devil, who's going to move closer to... yes, you've guessed it. Quinn. And again, attack with a +11. And we'll see what happens. Oh, 4. 11 + 4 is 15, which is not enough to hit Quinn's arm class of 16. So that attack misses. So now it would have been Heskan's go. And he would have moved and attacked probably the same creatures, but that was a bit of an error there, that I've moved Heskan and attacked instead of bringing the creatures out for Quinn. But we are on to the villain phase of Heskan. He didn't reveal a tile, so we need to reveal an encounter card. Oh. Attack each hero on the active hero's tile. Okay. So there's Heskan. So it's going to be Caleb, and it's with a +8. So let's roll for Heskan with a +8. Oh, yes. Definitely a hit, but Heskan has the lucky charm, so he can re-roll his dice. So we're going to get rid of his lucky charm and we're going to re-roll the dice. Let's hope we get a lower number. Ooh, a 9. A 9 plus 8 is 17, which is more than Quinn's armour class. Oh dear. So he gets 1 point of damage and is poisoned. I think this is the first time, is it, we've had a condition on a hero. I'm not sure, I think it is. Poisoned. So Heskan is poisoned. Now I did mention that the roll was against Quinn's armour class. Well, of course it isn't, is it? It's against Heskan's armour class, which is 15. Now you'll notice he has these mirror images which bring his armour class up to 21, but they are only used when being attacked by a monster, not an encounter card. Okay, so these don't take effect. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but according to the card it says these are used when a monster attacks, and if a monster hits you, sorry, when a monster misses you, you have to remove one of the tokens. Okay, so going by the card, those tokens only come into effect when monsters attack, not encounter cards. Okay, so we need to remove that hit point from Heskan. Right, so that encounter card now is discarded. Oh no, sorry, I do apologise. Kaleth, we have to attack Kaleth with this Sulphurous Cloud, and again it's a +8. Let's see what we get. A 5. 8 plus 5 is 13, which is not enough to hit Kaleth's arm class of 18, but she's still poisoned. So no hit points are removed, but the poison token goes on her. Now we can remove this card. And another error I'm going to correct right now. It's been one of those days again that everything seems to be going out of order. Is the monster phase of Heskan, because he brought out a Duergar guard. So that Duergar guard is now going to activate. And of course, as there are 2 Duergar guards out, the ones up here, both are going to activate. So we'll start with this one down here. So going down the tactics, if the Duergar guard is adjacent to a hero, he attacks with a warhammer. Well, he is adjacent, so he's going to attack with a warhammer of +8. So we roll with a +8. That's 8, so that's 16. Hitting Quinn, who has an armor class of 16, which does hit Quinn. So another hit point is removed from Quinn. Okay. So now the other Duergar guard is going to activate. And you may notice the cave bear. I've started painting the figures. But the Duergar guard is going to activate. It's not on a tile with no unexplored edges or heroes. It's not next to a hero. So it's going to move 1 tile forward. It's going to move onto this tile. Okay. Now you'll notice that there's no scorch mark on this particular tile, which means it can move anywhere it wants on this tile. Doesn't make any difference. It'll move there. Move those back. So there we are. Right. After all the mistakes and corrections, it's, oh dear. I think that is it for this turn. I'm sure I've made some horrendous mistakes, and hopefully you guys will point them out. Hopefully it's not long before we reveal the chamber, because it seems like we've been going on forever through this dungeon, and now there's a big punch up down here as well. So I think that's it for the turn. Hopefully we'll survive the next turn. When it's Vistra's turn, and she's going to try and get out of this cage. She's still stuck in this cage. Right, so I will catch you guys in the next turn.